As Matthew Stover once said, the dark is generous, and it is patient, and it always wins. From Black is a Shutter original, written and directed by Thomas Marchese, who did a documentary called Fallen back in 2017, also written by Jessup Flower in their feature credit, and it centers around Anna Kemp's Cora, who's a recovering drug addict that also lost her son. So even after getting clean, she has this loss, this agony, this anxiety, all this heartache that is just weighing on her, just absolutely just crushing her. I mean, she wants to just pull her hair out because she's like, I finally got clean. I finally did this. I finally escaped that part of my life. And I don't know what I'm going to do without my son. And any parent, anybody that has experienced that level of loss, especially somebody that you raised from birth, somebody that's your flesh and blood, it would be an impossible loss to deal with. There's no one way to deal with it. Everybody just deals with it in their own way. And Anna Kemp, who's been good in various films before and various projects, does a good job conveying that. I will say that. She also has a sister played by Jennifer Lefort, who's named Bray, who's a cop, and she was on the case, and they just couldn't figure out this stuff with Noah. They just couldn't figure it out. And Cora's in a house, and basically Bray finds her. They bring her into the police station to find out what's going on, because even though time has passed and Cora has been clean, there are questions whenever you're dealing with addiction, especially if it's somebody close to you, are you using again? And this story gets told. Cora tells a story about how she got there, what happened, and then we have a movie. So basically it gets told in flashbacks, and we sort of have a wraparound thing, whatever. And it's told over a number of days, and there are a few other people in this. The group therapy has a guy named Abel. Yes, like the biblical character played by John Ailes, who actually I think does a decent job in this. And also there's a person from Cora's previous part of her life, Wyatt, played by Travis Hammer. So you have Abel, Bray, Wyatt, and Noah. You might as well just had somebody named Mary Magdalene at this point, but nevertheless, this is a story about grief, agony, loss, and also during the early part of this, Cora, after being in therapy, gets talked to by Abel, and Abel says, I've experienced loss like this, but I was able to overcome my loss because I was able to do something where I was able to see my kid again, and you're going to be able to see your kid again if you listen to me and do what I say. And from there, we have a series of events that eventually lead to, well, weird things going on. I'm keeping it as spoiler-free as possible. And if it sounds familiar, well, yeah, you've seen it done a bunch of times in other movies. There are variations, and, maybe with different settings. This is only set in a couple different locations, and that's fine. You can do minimal location shoots, and as long as you have good atmosphere and decent writing, and you actually have some ingenuity, you can make familiar tropes work, even as you're going and treading down familiar paths. And the cast isn't all that bad, all things considered. They've been in better projects, but that's fine if, you have halfway decent characters. Or you can do what From Black did and basically just burn all that to the goddamn ground and make it as cliched and, quite frankly, bland as possible. I understand what they were trying to do here, and there are elements of good ideas and things that could have worked, but the execution was, well, like they took this movie, put it on its knees, and basically shot it execution style in the back of the head while the movie's family watched, and then they had to do the rest of the movie, because unfortunately by the time it gets to the conclusion, I just ended up pretty much laughing at the goddamn movie, and I don't think that was the intention. Again, Anna Kemp has been good in other stuff and tries here, and other people try, but there's about this much material stretched the hell out to an hour and 40 minutes. I've said before, I'll say again, I'm applying the same thing to other horror movies that I'll apply here. This would have worked better as maybe a 40-minute movie as part of an anthology horror, because unfortunately, there are too many moments where I think it just tries to stretch things out a little bit much. It does a halfway decent job trying to build things, but when it gets to revealing stuff gradually, it just gets hokey and, quite frankly, dumb. And I feel bad saying that because I feel that they did try here, but this was not very well done. It wasn't really that well written. Acting's okay. cinematography's fine. There's a decent panning shot, or a series of panning shots over this like bleak landscape. And there are a few tight corner shots and a few like things where they're zooming in and tension music and boom. But unfortunately, the revelations that come up later, especially in the third act, just like destroy any halfway decent stuff that was built. And the flashback aspect and all that, and just, kind of going to the police station and then pulling back and then doing all this. It doesn't even get confusing because you can tell what's a flashback and what's not. It's just you stop caring after a while. Halfway decent idea, poor execution, decent acting, but overall very, very bland, very boring, and the scares didn't work. I get what they were trying to go for with the conclusion. Unfortunately, it just kind of made the characters that you would have thought might have been halfway smart just monumentally stupid. It's like, well, yeah, what the hell did you think was going to happen if you did that stuff? And also, the explanation again, really not that great. Like, oh, okay, we're just going with that. We're going the cheap route instead of... It's sure, it might be horrifying to people if they've never seen a horror movie. Unfortunately, this just end up being very cliched. I am going to get into spoilers, so it's on Shudder. Shudder's a great service. Check it out. There are certainly worse Shudder originals out there, but it wasn't very good. 3, 2, 1, spoilers. Okay, so Anna Kemp, Cora, and Wyatt used to be users, and Wyatt's just full-on redneck dick. That's something that gets revealed in various flashbacks when, basically Bray shows up and talks to Cora. She's saying, oh, he said we could bring him back. We could get him back. Who's him? Noah, obviously. A lot of this police station interrogation stuff, not even interrogation, just interviews. I know what they were doing, but it just felt like it got in the way. We would have been better off opening like we did and not doing the police stuff until very late. Just do all the police stuff at the end, because interspersing it to me just got to where, oh, okay, we're being lazy with how we're doing this. We're chopping it up and we're breaking up any bit of tension by, hey, we're going back here. By the way, you're seeing all these flashbacks and this stuff. She got covered in blood. So, yeah, Bray and Cora are sisters, never were there such devoted sisters. And yes, any parent would want to get their kid back, but the way this is conveyed and the way this is done, it just makes me think, wow, yeah, grief, anxiety, and anger and just heartache can make you do stupid things. But goddamn, I don't think anybody would do something this stupid. Abel's trying to help her. Basically says, oh yeah, I got mine back, but I haven't been able to see her. So we're going to do this ritual. She had to be sent away to be with her mother and everything. That's a telltale sign that there's something really fucked up about this going on. And they do a salt circle. They have a chain in the middle to shackle one of them. Either Cora or then later Abel. Again, biblical stuff, beating you over the head. And she has to stand for hours on end. Apparently, these chants take about 5,000 years because we go from day to night to daytime again. I'm going to hold my boy because she does this levitation thing. Like she's the girl from Paranormal Activity 4, Catherine Newton. I think that's her name. Paranormal Activity 4, pretty much the last good Paranormal Activity movie. So yeah, more flashbacks of her using and Noah going off to school and then being kidnapped. That's what happened. He got kidnapped. Seemingly there was a side story about this kidnapper, and I assume that's what happened to Abel's daughter. But it was by this point that I just didn't give a shit. I didn't care. I mean, again, parents being able to have visions of what happened to their kids and not being able to do anything about it would horrify them. It absolutely would. And then they reveal that the deal is made with this weird devil ram, and if you want your child back, you must make a payment and then go on the path and be a vessel to carry them on. And yeah, I'm going to stop doing that. More human than human. The whole point is when they reveal the devil ram creature thing that's behind all this, that you make the deal with the devil, I laughed. I mean, they weren't the worst special effects or makeup effect. They weren't. But I'm just like, I've seen this before, and this is kind of silly, and I wasn't that invested to begin with. The movie kind of started to really lose me 30 to 40 minutes in of an hour and 40-minute movie. And then there was this goat that ended up being sacrificed off screen, thankfully, so I didn't have to downgrade the movie that much. I'd already downgraded the movie plenty. Noah, by the way, had shown up, or not Noah, but, well, Noah, we got to see Noah in flashbacks being chased down by the kidnapper. We got Wyatt being a full-on redneck dick again, just harassing Cora and Abel. And then it's the day of payment. We have the table of goat. It's the flesh, the blood, and the bone. You must eat all this, and then you must drink this. And if you drink this, I'm free of this curse. Because it's a curse that a woman passed to Abel, and now Abel's passing to her. And then they can see their kids. But it's like It Follows. If It Follows was directed by a sea cucumber and written by a sea cucumber. And I feel bad for saying that, because Thomas Marchese was trying something here, but the execution was terrible. And then he gets all pissed, Abel does, because of the fact that Cora would not drink the thing, and then he just seemingly disappears because he can't see his daughter again. And now, the devil ram talks to her. I will take back my prize. Wait, I'll get you a vessel. Okay, I'll get you a vessel. That's fine. I'll get you a vessel. I don't want to get a vessel. That's all right. Even the producer is chiming around and doesn't want to say anything because he's so angry at this. The whole point of this movie is Cora ended up going through a salt purification thing, salt bath. There's a salt thing around there, so she's pure of drugs and everything. But then she decides to get Wyatt to come in. Wyatt ends up basically saying, well, sure, I'll come over if you want to give me sex, and I'll give you drugs again. And then the devil man tries to kill her, or kill him. Wait, this vessel's tainted, unclean. And now she's in the jail holding cell. And she can't be left alone, because then the devil ram's going to come after her. And while Bray's looking around, not Bray Wyatt, Bray looking around after Wyatt was killed. If you're a wrestling fan, you're dying laughing in the comments. And the devil ram says, well, take me in and deliver me to another soul, and your kid will be back. And then Bray finds Noah in the closet. And that was it. Because they played hide and seek in one little flashback. I understand what From Black was going for, but it basically ended up landing on black when you bet on red. It pretty much just failed at about everything it could have been. Making a nice, taut little thriller and mixing a little bit of creature feature stuff in there isn't the worst thing in the world, or devil possession, or whatever the fuck you want to go with, supernatural shit. The movie couldn't find a balance. Again, the acting was halfway decent, but it just felt very amateurish. It felt very bland, and I have to give it an F. I'm sorry. I look forward to seeing what else Thomas Marchese can do, because there's elements of good ideas here, but it just wasn't very good. F. Agree, disagree with what I said? Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Franklin. I'll see you soon.